Hi everyone, welcome to today's video where we're talking about neuron. Our nervous system is made up of millions of neurons. And let's talk about the parts of neuron. Okay, as any other cell, neuron, which is the nerve cell, will also have nucleus. Nucleus contains DNA and it functions to control the activity of the cell, just like any other cell. Following that, we have cell body. Okay, cell body has cytoplasm, nucleus, and other organelles which are found in cells. Okay, so the cell body will actually integrate the signal and coordinates the activity. Next, there are little tiny fiber projections known as dendrites. Dendrites are fibers that receive information from other neurons. Okay, remember, dendrite always receive. Then, the axon will conduct the nerve impulses received by the dendrite away from the cell body. Okay, remember the long thin fiber that extends outward from the cell body is known as axon, and it functions to carry electrical impulses away from cell body. Okay, and this axon is actually surrounded by myelin sheath. Okay, myelin sheath functions to protect and insulate the axon. And it will also help to speed up the transmission of nerve impulses. So you might be wondering, what actually produced this myelin sheath? Myelin sheath is actually produced by Schwann cell. And if you look closely, in the myelin sheath, you can actually see the nucleus of Schwann cell. The function of Schwann cell is to produce myelin sheath. There are tiny little gaps between the myelin sheath as well, and these are known as nodes of Ranvier. And this gap will help to conduct the impulse. For your information, as a nerve impulse travels along an axon, it actually jumps from one node to another node. And this way of jumping will speed up the transmission of nerve impulse. Okay, so there's a little swellings at the end of the axons, and these are known as axon terminal. Nerve impulses that are conducted along the axon will finally reach the synaptic terminus, and the synaptic terminus will then transmit these signals to other cells such as muscle cells, gland cells, or even dendrites of another neuron. Okay, so remember, a typical neuron has 4 distinct parts, which are the dendrites, cell body, axon that carries the impulses away, and also it is surrounded by myelin sheath produced by Schwann cells, and the gap are known as node of Ranvier and also synaptic terminus. Okay, now let's compare between different types of neuron. In our body, there are 3 types of neurons. First would be motor neuron, second, sensory neuron, and third would be your interneuron, which is also known as association neuron or relay neuron. Okay, the first concept that you have to grasp is the difference in the function. Motor neuron is also known as efferent neuron. Okay, it conducts nerve impulses from the central nervous system, which is our brain and spinal cord, to the effectors, while sensory neuron will work in other way around. Conduct nerve impulses from the sensory receptor to your central nervous system, while your interneuron will transmit nerve impulses between the sensory neuron and motor neuron. Then we can also compare the position of cell body. In motor neuron, cell body is located at the start of neuron. Okay? And they are actually inside the grey matter of spinal cord. In sensory neuron, cell body is near the end of neuron, or in the middle, and they are actually in a ganglion outside spinal cord. Okay, now let's look at the dendrites. In motor neuron, dendrites are attached to cell body. Okay, you can see that it is actually projections from the cell body. In sensory neuron, dendrite is at the end of neuron. Okay, so it is not a projection from the cell body. So you can see the cell body looks quite broad over here, right? Okay. Now, we can also compare the length of axon. Motor neuron has a very long axon, while sensory neuron has a very short axon. And dendron, motor neuron has no dendron, while sensory neuron will have a very long dendron, which is a continuation from the dendrites. In motor neuron, the dendrites will straight away transmit the impulses into the cell body, while in sensory neuron, the impulses have to actually traverse along the dendron to reach the cell body. Okay, so this is just to reinforce what I was saying just now. Interneuron, inter means in between. So interneuron is actually between the sensory neuron and the motor neuron. They are like the messenger between the afferent and also the efferent neuron. Okay? Thank you.